Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We are talking with Sarah. Her musical project is called Eleda. And Sarah is studying music at university.
I am.
But not just studying music, studying a PhD. And so what's involved with studying a PhD in music?
There's lots of different things you can do. So you can do like a creative output type thing. So some people do like performances or composition portfolios, so on and so forth. Other people will do like tech outputs. So they'll like create an app or something like that. You can kind of do anything. Like they can split it up percentage-wise quite interestingly. I'm just doing a standard good old thesis. So I am doing like a research project where I go out and gather data and then analyze it and write about it. So
Are you saying that you can develop an app instead of writing a thesis?
I think you would still have like a smaller component. So you would do like instead of like an 80,000 thesis, you do like a 30,000 word.
I choose that. For me.
I did think about it. I mean, I can't create apps, so mine would probably been in performance. But I think for me, I was like, I did several years of uni, obviously, before PhD and lots of performance-based stuff. And they give you a lot of like very specific criteria that they want you to meet in your performances, which is great and helps you improve a lot. But I found it a little bit like I got a bit creatively stuck because I was just creating stuff specifically for the criteria rather than for what I actually wanted to do in the industry. And so I chose to do a written one so then I could have it separate. Yeah. So I could just do whatever I wanted. And then so it ends up being probably more work, but I think it works out better for my brain ways.
And can you tell us a bit more about your thesis and what it will be about?
Sure. So essentially at the moment, the way that we train singers at university is very much genre and discipline specialised. So we teach them classical voice or like jazz composition. But as you probably know, it's very different in the industry. So we are often marketing, promoting, recording ourselves. We're often singing across and between genres in like fusion style things. Like there's not as many like defined limits between the role of a performer as there kind of used to be, which means that a lot of the singers are graduating with like lots of professional development to do. Like they might be an incredible singer, but they have no idea about how to market themselves. They don't know how to get gigs. They don't know how to sing in any other genre except the one they were trained in, so on and so forth. So it becomes a bit of a problem in that sense that it's affecting potential employability for some people. So we've started to create some programs in Australia that teach multiple genres and disciplines at once, but we don't really know anything about them. We don't know what it's like to be a student in the program. We don't know what it's like for the teachers trying to manage that much multidisciplinarity, because obviously there's limited resources of like money and time and funding and stuff like that. And we don't really know what it's like to structure or introduce those programs when there's these existing divides in the institutions. So what I'm wanting to do is look at those programs and try to understand what the experiences of those programs are like and what the perceptions of them are from those outside of them as well as inside them, so that we can understand how we can improve them for the future. And what sort of, there's a lot of people talk about in this space, they talk about, hesitations in relation to cross-genre or multi-genre study, and they just say, these people don't like it, but they don't really understand, they don't really go into and try to understand why or what the actual reasons are, which makes it very difficult to do anything about it. So hopefully we can try and fill a bit of that knowledge.
And so you're thinking that, like, rather than someone just studying a classical voice degree, that they may be able to incorporate some jazz or contemporary in that also?
Yeah. So I kind of did that in my honours. I did classical undergrad, and then in my honours I wanted to do multiple genres, and that's where I kind of got the idea for this study, because it was impossible to find anywhere that had like an integrated program. So I was able to do it at my university, but I had to have two different teachers from two different genres. They taught in completely different
styles, I guess. Hey?
Yeah. So like one was really like anatomy focused and one was really imagery and sensation focused. So when one would tell you one thing, the other one you wouldn't really know what that related to in this one. And so you're just kind of in the middle going, so it was really cool. And I think I learned a lot from it. But it was also really hard because you're trying to translate basically two different languages just in the middle with like no dictionary that tells you what the other one means.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool that now they're trying to navigate that in a different way and sort of be a bit more flexible. Obviously, the programs vary quite a lot in the degree of integration because it is still such a new thing. But yeah, hopefully we'll find out what people are doing and some inspiration.
Right. So how do you collect this data?
Mine will mostly be through interviews. There might be some observation stuff, just depending on, like, I've put observation in there purely as like a, if someone mentions something that they're like, oh, I can't really explain it, you just have to see it kind of option. But it'll mainly be through interviews. So we'll be asking people about their previous experiences with like multi-genre, multidisciplinary stuff, how they currently view it, and the process of introducing these programs, sort of centering around those things that we can try to understand the context of the lead up to the program, the implementation of it, and how it's being received.
Would students who have, let's say, like more conditioning towards one of those styles be more susceptible to being more proficient in that particular style as opposed to another style? Is that part of like what you're looking into?
Potentially. I think like there's still like very much a mentality of specialization. And I think what's cool about some of these courses is that they don't force you to diversify if you don't want to. So if you're like, I want to be an opera singer and that is the only thing I'm interested in, you can still do that. What's cool is that, for a lot of people, I think they did a study like 10 years ago, and obviously those numbers will have decreased since then because they did a study on the amount of full-time opera roles in Australia. And there was 48 in Australia. And we have like 50 courses in Australia, or, like loads of programs in Australia that pump through hundreds of students. Like every 5 years you'll have like another 100 opera singers, and there's 48 full-time roles. So you have to be the best opera singer possible, or you have to be really good at marketing yourself, or so on and so forth, to create your own opportunities in order to be employed in that space. So, for the 1% that are like, yes, they're really on that path, they really want to do that, or they're really determined to improve and do that, absolutely you can still do that. But for those other people who are like maybe a little bit more inclined to go for a different style of employment where you can, create your own gigs, work across multiple genres, because then you can get more gigs and make a full-time role that way. This provides that kind of opportunity. But yeah, it's very much a hot topic. So I'm very keen to speak to people in that space because we don't even know if it's possible in the undergraduate space. It's very new.
Okay. It's very interesting. And that's not the only degree that you've been working on. You did a double degree, one in psychology also?
Oh, yes.
Did you forget?
What else am I doing?
Did you forget that you've done this?
I thought you meant right now, and I was like, what else am I doing? What if I forgot?
Should I read your resume to you?
Please. I told you I have a bad memory. Yeah, I did a Bachelor of, I guess technically Bachelor of Arts, but was the APACPsych accreditation.
Which is just like a general 3-year psych degree?
Yeah, like 3 and a bit. Yeah.
Interesting?
Good. Yeah. Hard.
Yeah.
Hard degree, lots of statistics.
It would be.
Yeah, which has been useful now because I think I thought that I would never use it, and then I went into research, so joke's on me. But yeah, it was cool. It's like one of those degrees I think that's like very relevant to everything, even if you don't go into the field.
Well, I think so, isn't it? Like it's just like general life, isn't it? Like, people.
Yeah, gives you a lot of like interesting perspectives and fun facts. Like, did you know that if someone yawns or you yawn and like someone that's like connected to you in any way, shape or form is near you and sees you yawn, if they don't yawn, statistically, they're more likely to be a sociopath.
Yeah.
Because it's like an empathy related thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll remember that.
Yeah. It might have been debunked since I did my degree, but I hold on to it every time someone doesn't yawn near me. I'm like,
if you yawn and they don't, you're like, let's not hang out.
you don't like me very much. You don't feel connected to me, or you're a sociopath. So either way, not good.
Yeah. No. Good point. I'll remember that now.
Danger everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back.